put some fairly heavy tack welds on here, just so it doesn't come out of square when I move on to the other side. I might just put one in the inside there and then or something, but we will see. Put a glove on to save me getting a tan. That's one side, something like done. Might just add a bit of weld in these corners just to tidy it up. I didn't weld right onto the edge of the gusset. And on the inside, got a bit of splatter in there that I can't do a right lot about. I'll try and get rid of that if I can. Just checking that that's stayed square after pulling it off the magnet. Just done some tacks on the end. I'll do a tack on that inside edge and then I'll put the gusset on. Right, this is just a quick update as to where I am. I'm doing this over a few days as and when I get a chance. So this is where I got to, as you'd seen, but I dropped a plum shaped object when I made this because I should have angled that, because it's close to where the skid plate turns up, so it needs to be angled to meet at the right direction, and I might not actually end up using a bottom bracket, but I did make one. I've not done the gussets, so you can see the difference there. Same dimensions, except that one's slanted to meet the skid plate at the right point. I've then drilled it out and fitted a couple of riv nuts. In a way I didn't really need to do that. I could have just drilled a hole and tapped it, but I thought that was the better way. I don't use it, to be honest. I usually tap things, but I seem to have it in my head to do that for some reason. So I've done that. This one isn't wasted because I'm going to cut it, shorten it and use it for the top mounting. Both of them I need to check today. I may need to shorten this, so I won't redo all this. I'll just cut a piece out, weld it together again, because I think my skid plate might be poking out a bit too far. So that's what I'm going to do today. So what we've got so far, those bottom brackets which I've painted in red oxide and then top coated in this truck bed liner. I've never used that before, but I'm hoping it gives a bit more protection than normal paint because it's thicker. So that's the curb side if you're in England, and other side, right hand side as well. As you see, I've done these slightly different. I've used a nut in this one and a riv nut in this one. This is just welded in, mainly because I drilled the hole the wrong size when I wasn't really thinking. This is the bracket that I originally made for the bottom, which I've cut and narrowed to use up at the top. This is the one I've made for the bottom. Now I haven't double coated this one yet. You can see it's still got a bit showing. I'm going to see if I can do without this one. It's better if I can just get a top fitting, but it'll just depend how the bash plate sits. I blocked the holes whilst I was painting, and then just re-tapped them just to make sure they're clear in all of these, and they're all M8 bolts, and I've got some shorter M8 bolts to go in. So I'm going to refit just these to the bike, not that one for now, keep that one in reserve if I need it for the bottom. I won't film all this because it's pulling off the exhaust and stuff again and a bit of a faff. I've got two bolts for the right hand side of the bike. You've already got one on the bike, but it's a fine thread and I couldn't get a fine. I really would have preferred to have fine thread, but I'm just going to fit two coarse thread ones and put some Loctite on. Same for the top bolt to go through here. I could only get that in a coarse thread as well, so I'll just make sure that it's all good. And we're back in a bit. I'll have some fitting to do on the bash plate. Still got some cutting to do on it, and I've obviously got the holes to locate. That'll be the tricky bit, the next tricky bit, and I'm likely to double it up on part of the underneath so I can recess the fixing bolts so they don't get knocked off on stones, but I'll come back to that in a future part.